Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you real quick about this meme that I find fascinating. As you can see, in one end there is this super dumb guy, and in the other end there is like this super intelligent guy. And in the middle, representing the large portion of the population, is this guy that is always like stressed and anxious and all that kind of stuff because he's like super complicating things. The funny thing of this meme is that both ends of the bell curve reach the same conclusion. And the guy in the middle thinks that he's being like the guy in the top right, but he's not. He's like super complicating things based on his own assumptions about what successful guys are doing, and he's just super complicating things and being stressed and not taking action at all. The thing is that we are super focused on the external, in the tangible things that we can do, but we are not focused on being the person that does the things that we want to do. Like, we try to change the things that we do without trying to change our own identity. We believe that the super successful person must have this super complex productivity routine, or that the person that gets most girls must have this super complex seduction tactics and mastery things and dark psychology stuff. But in reality, it's very simple. Like, they used the smallest things possible and the simplest things possible, and they still get the results you want because they are that guy. They are that guy that gets shit done. They are that person that can seduce girls easily because it's in its vibe, it's in his facial and physical attractiveness, it's in the way that he carries himself more than the things that he says and does. Or for example, like this meme with the guy with the super complex equipment, like with all the productivity tactics and tasks and Notion and and the guy with no equipment and just like task A, B, C, D, E. It's just like that simple. But it takes time to get to the conclusion that things are really very simple, but we overcomplicate it because we think that it's good and better. And this relates perfectly to the mental masturbation cycle, where instead of doing the thing, like for example completing the task or talking to a girl or starting the business, we develop a strategy plan, we focus on pickup lines, we make these productivity tactics with Trello, Notion, OneNote and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, the only thing that gets the task done is getting shit done. The thing is that when we develop these systems and research and tactics, we think that we're being productive and we feel at ease while trying to perform these tasks. But we are just hiding away from the pain that is actually necessary to do the things that we want. Like, trying to get, for example, a pickup line to talk to a girl is just trying to cope with the fear of just walking by and saying hi to a girl. So for example, developing a super complex productivity system is trying to hide us away from the pain of just sitting and doing stuff even if we're bored, sad, depressed, etc. I usually found that the things that are more simple and sustainable make my life 10 times better because, of course, I tried the super complex productivity method. I read books on how to get girls, but in reality, the only thing that worked was me actualizing my identity and just doing the things that I was supposed to do, even though I was afraid of them. I had to go through the fear to get to the conclusion that it's really that simple. And the thing is that sometimes we believe that successful people have all of these complex systems, but in reality, we just have to find what is more sustainable for us. Because maybe that a super rich and successful guy you know may have a complex productivity system, but it's the system that made him get through long periods of time. If you cannot even sustain this complex productivity system for 1 week, or if you are sustaining it but you are just feeling lost and stressed and anxious about completing it to the very strictly, you just aren't reaching the goal, which is to do the things for a long period of time. For a long enough period of time for that you can get results by it. But let's elaborate on why both ends get to the same conclusion. For example, the guy in the left corner reaches to the conclusion because he cannot think of anything else. His mind does not process the thing of, for example, having a complex productivity system or being super elaborate on speaking to girls. He's just like so dumb that the only thing that he does is extremely essential. He doesn't have the intellectual ability to process emotions and stuff. But the thing is that most of us are in the middle. Most of us have enough intelligence to be aware of, hey, like this must not be the only way. Like there must have been a better way or a more optimized way. Because it's okay, like we intellectuals will look for the best way to do things, and it's okay, but sometimes it can result in a coping mechanism of not doing the thing that we actually want to do. So, in reality, the guy from the right bottom corner thinks that things are really just simple because he's been through all of the curve. He's been through the middle and applying the complex systems and the experiences and all that kind of stuff. Like he went through the bell curve and he reached the right corner because he gained experiences, wisdom, knowledge, and feedback from his own life. Of course, he could just have stayed in the middle, but the middle is kind of unbearable once you just reach a certain level of complexity in every area of your life. And you start reminiscing those times where life was simple and you feel nostalgic about it. But you just created your own hell. Because things can be a lot more simpler than they are. You can do things with not as much effort and struggling with yourself as you're doing right now. Sometimes you don't need purpose to do things. If this thing just feels right now, you can do it. And for example, the guy in the left corner says, I do the things that I like right now, but mostly are things of like fast pleasure, like social media, porn, video games, etc., etc. And the guy in the right corner of the curve just thinks about things that feel good right now, but that are helping him reach certain goals. Of course, he doesn't feel like a deeply sense of purpose and all that kind of stuff, but he just takes action and says, okay, this feels good right now, this feels right to do right now because I trust my own instincts, so I go with it. There's not much more explanation to go with it. Or for example, this meme, I absolutely love it because there's the left guy with the Just Do It from Nike and the middle guy with the 20-page strategy document, and then a phrase from Napoleon that says, the torment of precautions often exists and dangers to be avoided. It is sometimes better to abandon oneself to destiny. So, yeah, sometimes we need to let go of having all of the control of all of these systems and stuff, and just surrender to our own nature and just doing the things and getting experiences by it. Because when you gain experience in doing things, your identity evolves. Because you are now the person that does these things, and your vibe just gets better. It's with girls. With girls is the same thing. Sometimes we think about all of these complex things and then the guy with the best vibe just ends up getting the girl. Like you think about the best way to approach her, how to open, how to take the conversation, how to close, how to approach her to give her a kiss, and then just the guy that it's cool with it and that has experience with girls because he already faced his own fears regarding talking to girls. Just goes, talks to her about some random shit, makes her laugh, gives her a kiss, and you are just left there suffering. But in reality, the only way to get through the bell curve is through. The only way is that you can gather all of the human experience, get to your own conclusions, and boil those conclusions down to the main principles. So, of course, that in paper, things may seem that the more complex and the more elaborate we will reach to better conclusions. But in real life, you're also emotional, spiritual, and beings that guide themselves through energy and how they feel things too. We are not 100% rational even if we try to be. So in the end, we just need to do the things that feel right and come easy to us and that are simple to apply. It's no use to try to be someone else that you're not, and in the need to be someone else that you're not, over complicating your life to the point that you feel completely stressed and disconnected from your own reality. Because this is the thing. You're pretending to be someone that you're not. And second, you are just overcomplicating your reality and feeling super lost, stressed, and anxious. And the way to stop feeling lost, stressed, and anxious is to boiling things down to the absolute essential and to the things that come easy to you. Just take, for example, the next 3 weeks as a test period, where you will do lots of things, try different methods, different tactics, and all that kind of stuff, and focus heavily on doing things, on doing and seeing how you feel, doing and seeing how you feel, and just taking your own feedback from it and choosing those actions that make life very simple for you, but that are also pushing you towards a better future. So take the next 3 weeks and just try to understand more of yourself. If you need to write, if you need to meditate, if you need to act, do whatever you need, but get feedback on who you really are and what are the things that are truly applicable to your own self. And by actually doing, you start to get feedback of who you really are. And by that, you start to get feedback and you just start to become that person, because you're just the person that does things, the person that carries himself with confidence, the person that believes in himself and his own ability to do things. Because he went through all of the failures from all of the shitty periods that are kind of obligatory to make your life better. Because you need to suck at getting girls first to get girls. You need to suck at being productive and to focus before you can focus in the right manner. You need to suck at business, social media, content before you become good at it. Sometimes we try to build all of the complex systems to avoid the thing of sucking at it. But the only way is through. So you might as well just start doing.